pictures from the brand.
There we go. Over to you, Gav.
Okay, are you going to leave everybody unmuted?
No, if they mute themselves, and then if they want to ask a question, they can remute.
Yeah, okay. Right, okay. So if you ask questions, just shout them out and we'll go through it, okay? Right, as I told Derek, I'm going to do mayflies. I'm going to do from the nymph, from the bottom of the river, to a Wally Wing Green-Drake. So that's the top, obviously. And then we'll try to do, if we got time, we'll do the French Partridge, which is going back down to the bottom, obviously, when he's decaying, right? So we'll start with the nymph from the bottom. I'm using a partridge root nymph, and it's an 8. I'm going to be using cream-coloured seal's fur and Angora wool. Okay, half and half, but I've just mixed up. It's basically to save on the seal's fur because it is so expensive. But the Angora, when you mix it together, it's really, really nice. And when you see it in the water, it looks really nice as well, okay? But to keep the true colour of it, use a cream, either a white or a cream colour thread. If you use black or brown, it shows through and then it doesn't look, it looks crap, to be honest with you. So match the thread with a nice light colour material. Right, hook is in the vise. Just run your thread through a little bit of wax, beeswax. Oh, just knock that out of the way. Put that up so I can see what I'm doing. My light. Catch on behind the eye. Come down the hook in open turns. About 3/4 of the way down the shank of the hook, just leave the thread hang because we're going to be adding some fine or small round vineyard lead, okay, to give the fly a bit of action. So take a bit of lead off. Take some varnish. This is the vineyard's varnish. Tip it upside down so the little cap inside fills. Take your dubbing needle. Get a good. Oh, my light has just dropped. That might happen again later on. Yeah, all the mod cons, yeah. So take your dubbing needle, get a nice blob of varnish, spread it on the thread. Put the top back on. Now come down just past the halfway mark of the hook, catch it on, and then touching turns, roll it up, and stop about 3, maybe 4 mil from the eye. Hold it, worry it, finger on, worry it. That's the lead on the hook. You take your thread up, go through the lead, back down, like so, once or twice, just to hide the colour and to make it all nice and firm and solid. Right. Now, at the back end of the lead, okay, we take some pheasant tail for the tail. Take half a dozen fibres off. Bring them out 45 degrees. So that brings the points all nice and square. Place them on at the back of the lead. Get the distance or the length you want for the tail. And I go for half an inch at the back end of the hook. Put it on. Catch it. One turn. Lift the fibres and tie down to just above the point of where the hook, the bend of the hook sweeps. Bring your thread up a little bit. Bring those fibres back over. Tie them down and trim off. So what I've actually done, I've closed the step from where the lead is to the shank of the hook. So I've made it in a nice sweeping action. So when we tie the body in, it'll be nice and cylindrical and gives you a nice shape. Now from there, 6/0 brown thread, about 6 inches, 7 inches. Come underneath. This is going to be a rib. Come through. Catch it in. Tie it down to where the tail starts. Trim your waist away, like so, and just leave the thread hang over the back. Right, now I'm looking for my dubbing twister. Now what I do with my body material, like I said, this is a seal's fur, and this is an Angora wool mix, half and half. Put it into a coffee grinder. Perfect. Thick. Not about that much. Put it in the palm of your hand, finger, and just fluff the material up, break it up, so it comes out like that. A little bit of spit on your finger and thumb, dab it on. Come down, and I'm looking for about 3 inches, 3.5 inches. A little bit of spit to keep it together. Just like so. A little bit of spit. Push it all together. Put the excess to one side. We'll use that for the front end of the thorax. Right. Now, with my loop tool, dubbing loop tool, I've put the noodle of dubbing onto the thread, come around, make a loop, close the loop, tie the thread away, make a little half hitch over finish. It just makes life a little bit easier when we actually put in the dubbing loop on. And now we just twist. Twist, okay? So it tightens the body up. If you've got any real long ones, just go in sideways and just trim them with the scissors, just to keep it nice and uniform. We don't want to get rid of all of them because we want it to look a little bit buggy, but we don't want it excessive. Okay, so it looks like that, nice and tight. Now come down to the back end of the tail. When we're there, comes up. I'm a little bit close to the camera, to be honest. And now we just form a body. Just like so. Come up about 3/4 of the way, like that. I don't know if you can see that, but now we've got a nice cylindrical shape. Yeah. When it's there, catch back on with your thread. Catch it on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Trim the rest of your loop away. And before we put the ribbon, just tidy things up. And there we are. So that's the tail done, that's the body done. Now we go clockwise with the seal's fur. So with the rib, for it to stand out, we do anti-clockwise. So we start right at the base of the tail. We do 1, 2, 3. Go back to that, that's better. 3. Take your time with it, get it right. Come up, cast it through, tie it off, and that's our rib done. So that's our tail, That's our body, that's our rib. Now, thorax cover, pheasant tail. Pull, I'd say, a good 1/2 inch, which is about a dozen fibres. Pull them at a 45-degree angle, so the tips line up. Trim them off. Any little scraggles I got, just get rid of them. Okay, right. This is going to form the shell case, or the thorax cover, and it's also going to form the legs. Right, so what I tend to do is I'll push it forward, like so, and I'll just consider the length of the legs when we fold them back. They want to be about, say, 10 mil, yeah? So look at it. Place the thread about halfway down the body. Put them on, think right, hold it there, transfer it to the other hand, put it on, catch it, 1, 2, turn it towards yourself, so make sure that it's nice and centralized. Give it a little check, make sure you got enough. Yeah, that's plenty. And now tighten it down. Trim the waist off and just neaten, make sure everything's nice and neat. Okay, like so. Right, now for the thorax. Back to our dubbing. Piece that we pinched off. We're not going to use a dubbing loop for this. It's just going to be tied on, a bit of spit and nice and tight. So we take little bits and little and often. Don't try to put a full lump on, because if you do, it won't combine together. It won't twist together. Little and often. A little bit of spit. Or nature's glue, if you like. Nature's lubricant, rather. Put it on. And that should be enough. You're looking for about, say, 2.5 inches, maybe. Put that bin back in the bag. And when we're at that stage, wet your finger and thumb. Just tighten everything up. Now I tend to start from the head section and work down to where the start of the thorax cover is. And if it flares up, just tighten it up again. And then we work up towards the head, pull in the little fibres backwards, like so. And then form a little head. Okay? At this stage, where's my black thread? Head of this. I take a black thread because we're going to create a head. And this is it's a Semperfly 12-0. So we just catch on at the head, cover the thread, and trim the 2 silks away. Pull everything back to give our thorax cover a nice base, and then push the fibres forward. And don't just pull them forward. When you're doing it, I tend to push the little scraggy bits of the thorax away, pull it over, open it, pluck them forward, hold them, pinch, over the top. 1, 2, 3. Look at it. Centralize it with your thumb. Just push the thorax cover. And what that does, it opens the pheasant fibers. So it opens the actual thorax cover. Instead of it being thin and skinny, it just pushes it and it makes it look better. When you got there, tighten it. apart, the fibres, so they're nice and even. Say half a dozen this side. Bring them towards you, get your thumb, touch them. 1, 2 turns. So you got the left side, on the other side, push them over, pull them, 1, 2. And then with your finger and thumb, just push them around. Make sure they look nice and natural looking. Pull everything back. Make a nice, neat, but largish head. You don't want it small because it's a focal point of the fly. Okay, because if you look at the natural, you've got quite a decent side head. Right, we're finished from the front. There we are. Come in with the scissors, not that way. Come in from the side. Trim it. Push the legs open. Get your bottle of varnish. Shake it. Take it off pretty quick. So you've got that little well inside. Clean that dubbing needle off. No fur. Dubbing needle goes into the well. Just blob your varnish on. I do the left side and then I do the right side. And the reason for doing it like this, as Derek will tell you, you control the flow of varnish. If you take the bottle of varnish and you dip the needle in, you get a big splurge, big splodge. And when you go like that, it ruins the fly. But when you dip it into the cap, you get a tiny droplet, and you can put as many of those droplets on as you like. But normally it's one on the left or one on the right. And there we are. That's a Mayfly nymph. So come on, unmute yourselves.
Just a tip there, what I do, Gavin.
Yep.
Instead of using a needle, I use a bottle with a brush in it. I cut the brush in half and taper it.
Yeah, I've got them.
As fast as
I normally use the brush.
I'm doing it for the last 20 years before Venus came out with their own stuff.
Yeah, you cut the brush down with a Stanley knife blade, so you make it in half, or maybe take 3/4 of it away.
Scissors I use.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, you can.
2 clips you ever done.
But I see so many people sticking a dubbing needle into the bottle. Oh, and it ruins it. All the work that they've done to get a nice, neat little fly, especially if you do something like a bumble. Oh, it just goes and it's ruined.
Blocks the eye as well sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the nymph. Questions? No?
Yeah, they're all happy with that, Gav.
They're all happy? Hey! Hot crowd, hot crowd. Right. Now we'll go for the Wally Wing. Yeah. It's a green drake, or roughly a green drake. Right. This one might be my feathers in here, to be honest. I've had them a while now, so they're a little bit dry. So hopefully they'll split for me, and hopefully they'll be okay. Right. The first thing I do, because of the wings, because they can be a little bit challenging for, if you haven't done them before, if the feathers are dry, is we'll put the wings on first. And these are mallard flank feathers, just dyed olive or dyed yellow or dyed whatever colour you want. The hook I'm going to be using, put that thread out of the way, that thread, is a Catskill dry, and it's a long shank, and this is a size 10. But after all, our standard, the Danica, it's just a big old lump of a fly. So don't be afraid of making them large. Okay, see that?
Yeah.
Good. Olive nano thread. This is the 18O, I think it is. Yeah, 18O. Just run it through wax because this is really slick. Give it 2 or 3 pulls through the wax. Catch on a couple of mil down from the eye. See what I mean? It's pulled off then, look. Come down to give yourself a good base. Trim the thread off. Like so. And we come up at the position I'm going to start the wings. Because if you look at the fly, you've got to think where the tail starts, where the body's going to be, where the hackle is, and where your wings are going to rise from. Where the wings rise from, you want about, I'd say, 3 mil at least from where the wing is, the base of the wing, to the eye. Because you've got to get a couple of turns of hackle in there. Right. And that's water, Derek. Okay. Right. There's a couple of ways of doing them. The way I like is you take your feather, and it depends on how big you want your wings. Like this is the Mayfly, of course, it's the bigger one. So you look for quite a large feather or a wide feather. And when I say wide feather, you look at the hurls or the actual feather itself, the length of them, not the length of the feather. Trim your waist away. Okay. And where the natural feather folds down, I tend to take that a little bit away as well on that little bit. Let's get it right. Yeah, looks better. So where the natural curve of the feather is, place that on to the shank. So it's facing down. Catch on. Nice and tight. Good half a dozen turns. If not, a little bit more. And trim the stalk away. Okay. Thread back up to the base of the feather, or where the wings are going to rise from. Now, catch the center of the quill and lift your fibers up like so. Increase them. Takes a while to do. You just lift them nice and carefully until they start sitting up like they are now. And when they're up, just give them a little pinch. Like so. Okay. And then you come up in a sweep and you pull the fibers backwards. Hold it. What I tend to do is I'll pull them. So that's that one is caught and it's not going to line up. Oh, that's better. That's better. So you sweep them, hold them, adjust them, lift them at the back, and then pull. One turn around, one, give another one, look down on it, straighten it. When you're happy, tie them down the shank. And you can twist it and you can move it. Take your scissors and just cut them. Tie it down so you neaten the body like so. So we're in that position, okay? So we've created a little wing. Now, the bit that always messes up because these feathers are a little bit dry, so I hope they just open up. You've got a left side, you've got a right side. You take a few fibers from the left, and you pull. and pull. See it? Can you see it that way? You see it now?
Yep.
Right, now you take, that's the left side, now we take the right side. Do the same thing. Oh, pull, come on. Yeah, it's going. There we are. I just pull them. And there's your wings. Yeah? Or going further, take a very, very fine pointed right by scissors, come into the tops, and just nip the tops away. Like so. The stem, pull through the center, catch it in. Like so. Trim it away. If you want to now, if you wanted to cock up a little bit further, okay, put your thread back up, push them, give them a little crease, pull them, and put the thread in front, on behind, in front, so they cock up like so. Yeah? Happy?
Perfect.
Good. Well, yeah, they're pretty good. They're okay. Right. Now for the tail. Purists say, and if I was tying these to put in one of my frames, I'd do 3 tails, but you haven't got to. If it's a fishing fly, I've never seen a trout come up and go, there's 1, 2, there's 3 tails. Oh, there's 5 tails on our one, I'm not taking it. They don't, do they? Right? Back to the pheasant tail. Pull off a little bunch. 4 or 5. Pull them out. 45 degrees. Pull them off. Get rid of those little snaggy bits. Hold them. So the sweep of the feather or the curve of the feather points upwards. Like that. Place them on between the wings. Look length you want. And they have quite a long tail, so place it on. 1, 2. If it's not right, do it again. 1, 2. That'll do. Lift the fibers and tie them down to your finish position where your body is going to start. Trim the waist away. Pick up some of the brown thread that we used earlier for a rib. Catch him in. Pull him down. And catch your rib in nice and tight. Take it down to the base of the body. And now we start building our body. So we got our wings in, we got our tail in. I'll show you a little trick after with the tails to make them sweep. We got a rib. Now, because it's going to be a green drake, I've done the same thing with this stubbing as what I did with the Mayfly. I got some olive teal's fur and some Angora wool. Or this mohair, or this one. No, this one is mohair. The Angora's for the nymph. This one is mohair. It's a little bit spikier, so it floats a bit better. We get all this rubbish out of the way first because it's going to catch up in the seal's fur. Same thing, put it in the palm of your hand. Nice dry finger. And just turn it around. And it opens all the fibers up. Bit of spit. Push him on. A bit of spit. And you're looking for about, I'd say 2.5 inches maybe. Keep the body nice and slim. We just put that on the side. Bit of spit. tighten the dubbing up. Just turn it, and that little bit of saliva just tightens it right up for you. Put the rib out of the way. Start from the tail. Up we go. Touch and turns. Just like so. And when we get to just below the wing, stop, take your rib, and we come through it. If you want to use a slightly lighter body, you can. It's up to you entirely. That's your ribbon. Right, you won't need that again. Okay, so there's our tail, body, wings. Olive hackle. Do you lads know how to look for hackle? You look for it like this. You look at the cape, yeah, well what you should do is you look from the back end. So you open it that way. So you look through the cape. When you do that, you can see every single hackle you want. So if you do it that way, you're doing it the wrong way because it's just flat. Okay, you just pick one out. That one in there. It'll do. Just place it on. That'll be lovely. Cut the waste away. Well, first thing, when you do a hackle, wax. Bit of wax on the thread. Right up tight, okay? Because that gives you a good purchase then when you're actually putting the hackle on. So cut it away, pull 4 or 5 fibers off so you can see that little tie-in tag. Okay. The feather, the curve goes that way. So when you tie it on, the curve is going down, not like that. So it ties down. You catch it in behind the wings. Lift those. 1, 2. Take a little bit more dubbing. Catch it on. Okay, put that dubbing away. Anyway, tighten it up. Now, come through the wings. Come through. What that does is when we turn the hackle on now, it gives it a nice definition inside. Yeah, so you've got that spikiness beneath the actual feather of the seal's fur, and it just gives it a nice definition. Take a hackle. If you can see it. And we start, say, 3 turns behind the wings. So that's 1, 2, 3. Bring the wings up. 1, 2, 3. In fact, we'll give it one more. Just bring the last ones back. Catch it in. Roll the thread through. 1, 2, 3. Come back. Hold the thread tight. Snap him off. Pull everything back. Make a nice neat head. Do you want me to give this a black head or keep it olive? I make it black. Same trick. Take your black thread. Come around. Catch them in. Take your threads away. Pull everything back. Oh, don't stick yourself with the hook though. That hurts. Come through, make a nice neat head. And whip finish. Your wings forward. Put your thumb on the eye. Finger in between them. Just crease them down. I've caught that one a little bit, but it's okay. Pull the hackle fibres. Before we varnish it, take your dubbing needle. Okay, there's the wings. Put your thumb underneath. Go like that so you can see it better. Put your thumb underneath the tail fibres. Okay. Your dubbing needle. Trap the fibres of the tail between your thumb and the dubbing needle, like that. And bring it up. Do it once or twice. And what you tend to find is they should, well, they're not doing it now, buggers, isn't they? There we are, perfect. They'll sweep up in the air for you. And if you want to, there's 4 there. Take 1 off. So now we got 3. Like so. Yeah, can you see them? So now we got 3. And they sweep up nice. Your hackle right before we varnish. Once again, take your bottle. Or your bottle with the brush. It's up to you. Little teardrop. And just leave it soaking. Clean the needle. There's always one that sticks in it, but there. And just clean your eye out. And there we are. That's a green drake.
Any questions?
Yeah, there is one, Gavin.
Yeah.
How much will that fly twist when you cast it?
Cast.
They're not that bad, to be honest. They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Is it because the wings are separate and the air sort of flows through them and they don't twist so much?
They don't twist so much.
No.
And to be honest, when you're fishing them, you don't really fish them at distance. So, you know, I fish them on rivers. So you're only talking, the little rivers I fish 20 feet, maybe.
Okay. My river's not that wide, but if I was fishing them
that'll be even better because if you use a thicker tape like a salmon tapered leader, which are better for dry fly fishing, because they turn over quicker and more accurately.
Yeah.
So you may only use, say, 4 foot maybe of what do you use? Monofilament.
I'd use monofilament. I'd use Soft Plus.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're actually doing that, the tapered leader overcomes the twisting, and he just and if you look at them when they're actually going down, it looks and acts like a natural.
Right. And what?
Wherever you see the naturals buzzing around, they twist and don't fall.
Yeah. What X of nylon or monofilament would you use? Would you use sort of 5X? I know it's subjective X's, but I mean, you know, I don't know the thicknesses offhand, but
I'm old school, so I go for either 2.5 or 3 pound frogger.
Okay, right.
Because it's really, really strong, but it's got that little green tint.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And when you're casting it, you look at some of these lines. You use the Stroft. That's good.
Yes. Yeah.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one we used to use? I can't think of what it was. Was it fog? No. I think it was Water Queen.
Okay.
It was a good line, but when you cast it, you could see the line shining.
Yeah. Right.
Like a flash,
Yeah.
because it was clear. But you don't get that with the frogger.
Okay. Okay. Thank
You
you.
don't get that with the frogger.
No. Okay.
And sometimes that can make a difference.
I remember the old drilling line
Right.
years ago.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Pardon?
The old drilling line. One time, you used to get a green spool. I used to use that a lot.
The fog.
Drennan.
Drilling.
Draining.
It came in 50-meter spools. I think it's 50 yard spools came one time.
And you added the drain and double strength as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fantastic.
That was
Lovely diameter.
You could tow boats with that, to be honest with you.
And,
It was a good line, though, really good line.
Yeah. That's gone back a long way.
And the one line that people shy away from because it's not fashionable is the Maxima.
Yeah, I still use it.
Yeah, I use Maxima
I
as well.
don't believe in fixing something what's not broken. I really don't.
I've seen me on Cluedo, £6 Maxima with daddies, and the fish just go vroom and have it. They don't even notice it's there.
Yeah, Maxima's better than people think it is.
It is. It really is. And because it's got that colour.
And it's strong.
Yeah. It's really strong. And
it's another one you can tow a boat with almost.
I might have 3 lengths of Maxima on dries out of maybe for £5 down there to 3 or 4, and then down to £1.50 or £2.
Yep.
And that's the way I fish. Like when I'm on dry flies, it's old school, but it works.
Well, yeah. It's today. A lot of it is fashion.
Yeah.
Fluorocarbons. I use the Grand Max Rivage. As long as you use the proper knots.
Yes.
If you use a blood knot, don't even bother.
It slips.
You've got to use the water knot with it. You've got to, it's a grinner.
Yeah.
If you use a blood knot, even a tack blood knot, it's bump, bye. Pointless using it.
Yeah, I've used Maxima for years, and I use it for my mullet fishing as well.
Yeah.
And I use £4.
Yep.
£4 is the max, the lowest I'll ever go to because I need this. Mullet's quite a big fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know where you're going to hook, guy.
But between £4 and £6, you get 20% more bites on £4 than you do £6.
Yeah.
And even more as you go up. The line for a mullet is essential. As trout, I don't think they worry too much.
You went about 300 yards back and in, Pete.
Well, I got a fair bit, but they don't have to go.
We fish them next to home. They're like a rocket, like a torpedo. Boom.
They are. They are very, very strong fish. Bass as well.
Yeah.
But bass they give up a bit easier than mullet. But yeah, I mean, I had £4. I've never been snapped on a mullet on £4 line.
And the beauty with the Maxima, it has come on, right? There's your Maxima Clear and Maxima Green.
I'm still using the old Maxima Brown. I got bloody spools of it here.
The brown.
I've heard that.
But I'm still using the original one. I like it. And I also use it a lot for ribs. On man-made flies like that, I use my £4 Maxima, and it makes a lovely rib on a fly. It's not too glary, but it just gives it something different to a thread.
Yeah.
Like on things like buzzers. Yeah, it works.
Regards back to your wings, Gavin.
Yep.
The other way you tied it on to your shank first, and you make it right. Now I only use half that on your shank. Then I make the eye. I tear it down carefully because one side of the wings is slightly thicker because you have the center rib, the center part of the feather. So slightly, but I do that. We tie the same, but that's what I do. I cut half it just to make it. I find it easier, more tighter for me in the hook. It's not. There's no bulk hanging over, dangling off, extra bulk.
Well, that's one of the secrets. When you tie the wings in, you've got to take it down the shank to taper it.
Yeah.
If you take it down, cut it, it's just like a block.
That's right.
You taper it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Right. So where do you fish then?
I fish
Like
in
a
Galway.
Irish accent there.
Well, I fish in Galway, so in County Galway in Ireland, west of Ireland.
Right.
I fish on small rivers in the near where I live as well.
Right.
One of the main systems I fish is the Clare, and it's a massive, massive system at the Corrub. And different parts is different. And you might say a mayfly, for example.
Yeah.
And the colours on that river, it can be clear, it can be green, some parts sometimes can be white or it can be yellow.
Exactly.
But the sizes does make a difference on the sections of river.
Yeah.
You might have to tie them down to size 16s.
Yep.
Where standard you tie them maybe size 12 or 14 or maybe 10s, long shank, light you have to different parts. But you can't fish the same size mayfly on the whole system. And people think you go with the same size mayfly for the whole system. Where you go, you don't.
Nope. I know. Where the experience teaches you that, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm 13 years. I'll be 40 years next January fishing. I'll be 50 next year. I'll be 40 years fishing.
Yeah.
I'll be 37 years time flies. I'm 36 as it is.
Same as me. I started tying flies. I didn't even know what a vice was. I watched Mark Morgan on a Welsh television program, and he sat there on the side of the river and he tied a fly in his hand, and I thought, well, that's what you do.
Yeah.
And the first vice I ever tied, I made it in metalwork in school, and that was my first vice. For the first 4 or 5 years, in my fingers.
Yeah.
I still do it now.
Force habit.
Well, yeah, it's sometimes you got to go back to basics, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right, we're going to do French Partridge Mayfly now. So we've done the nymph, we've done a dry. Now we're going to do a wet. See if you like this one.
French Partridge is my
French
favourite.
Partridge, yeah.
It's my favourite, and I must admit, you get as much off the top as you do underneath.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a few different ways to tie it. I tie the hackle in first, and I'll show you what I do with it now. Right. Where's my thread gone? I'll use a lighter olive for this one. Leave that there and that there. Right, there's a thread. Right, olive thread. Give it a bit of a wax, because this nano thread is very, very slick. It's lovely to tie with, but it's very, very slick. I'm going to tie a big one. It's on a Sprout wet, size 8. But I couldn't see anything in my glasses now. Catch the thread on. Bit of wax there sticking in there. Come on, off you come. Right, okay. Get set up. Right, catch on just behind the eye. Come down. Give yourself a base. Trim your skag end of thread away. Come to the center of the hook. I do this because I was taught how to do it, to be honest, years and years ago. I think Cliff Harvey showed me how to do it years and years ago. Take French Partridge. Take the rubbish off the bottom, like so. Where you got the feather folding down, catch that in. Oh, I'll do it the other way. Swiss going up, catch that in, secure with it, trim the waist away, catch the center, fold the feathers out, and then put the hackle. If you don't snap it off. My God, I must have had these feathers 20 years. Tie the hackle around the shank of the hook in the middle as much as you can get on. So you've got the short bits, you've got the long bits. Put the thread through it. like so. Come on, open up. Catch it in. Secure it. Take the thread right up tight to the eye. Snap the point off. Push it all forward like a shuttlecock. Put 1, maybe 2 turns of thread around it. Spread fibers around the eye. It's nice and even. Just like so. And then tighten it. And that's the front hackle ready for tying when we finish up. Come back to your pheasant tail. Take off half a dozen fibers. Bring them out 45. Pull it off. I like to tie them nice and long. So we put them in, did about an inch hanging over, maybe a bit more at the back end of the hook. Tie it in. Lift them. Tie them down. So you stop really opposite the barb. There's my rib. Some gold oval uni for the rib. Push it in. Secure it. Back down to where the tail starts. Bring my waist away. I'll use a lighter colour olive for this one. The last one was a dark one, but this one's going to be like a medium. And it's the same thing. It's seal's fur mixed with mohair. So it bulks it out, but you still get the sheen. Open it up in the palm of your hand. Like so. This bit. Oh, that's too much. Make a noodle. And you know, you can vary the colours that you want on this. You can make them dark, you can make light, you can cream if you want to. It's up to you. It's up to where you fish. Put the noodle on. Come down to the base of the tail. And then work up. Touching turns, touching turns. So we're just below the hackle. A little bit of wax. To secure the base of the palmer that we're going to be putting on. A little base there. We take another olive hackle. I'm using the same colour as the last one. Just not to flick around the capes. Same thing. Trim bottom off. Pull 4 or 5, maybe half a dozen fibres off. Make the little tag. Catch it in. Really secure it. Now, down we go with the palmer. So at the head, just below the head, we'll put 3 turns on. We'll make it nice and bold, and then as we're going down, create the palmer, nice and even turns. Put 1 at the back end there. Cross your hackle, 1 complete turn at the base, and then wiggle your thread, your rib through. I'll cut that off, it's a bit tight. Through the palmer. Don't just turn your rib up because you trap the fibers. That little wiggle pushes the fibers out of the way. So when you get to the top, come on now. And 3. Come in, cut your rib away. Cut that little tag end away. Now, French partridge. Open him up slightly. Finger and thumb. Push him backwards. Push him back. Side to side. Above and below. Side to side. Just secure with that hook. That's better. Okay? So when you get him to sit as you want him to, pull him back. Wiggle your thread through. And when you're there, put it all backwards. Change your thread. What's wrong with that? Everything happens, doesn't it? That's good though. Cut your olive thread away. Cut the tag end of the black away. Push him all back so he's nice and even. And then create a nice formed black head. Whip finish. Trim it off. And there we have French Partridge Mayfly. Same thing with a dummy needle. You just clean that off. There's a bit of some UV resin has gone hard on the end of it, so we'll get rid of that. Then we just spot. And spot. Clean the eye. Egg. There we are. French Partridge Mayfly with a nice little neat head and a nice long tail. Like that.
ID.
With this technique, right? If you want, I devised it really, and Cliff showed it me really to keep the heads nice and neat and nice and small. Because if you take the standard way of tying it, you trim it back, you pull this out, as you all know, you tie it in that way, and then you fold the feather around. But that can create a big head. If you're not an experienced tyer, you can have a real big head. Doing it like this, when you got the shuttlecock type forward, you put your palmer in, but you can then, if you want to, put, say, 2 turns of a different colour hen hackle. You could make an orange spot, or you can make a black spot, a black hackle. So you can have the contrast of the olive, then maybe black, and then the French partridge over the top. And then doing it, the shuttlecock, when you fold it back, it's half a dozen turns, your head is finished.
Plus, also using that technique, you can use oversized hackles as well, can you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I generally tie them the other way, but I mean, for using big hackles, it's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, all broads, because these are broads. Partridge in particular, like if partridge and orange, you can use the big wide feathers, but because you start from the center, you push it back, you've lost what, 5 mil, so it shortens them up.
Ideal when you're putting chucker in for a chucker instead of a French partridge.
Yeah.
Gavin, a friend of mine fishes that fly dry. Would you tie it differently if you were fishing it dry? He fishes the French partridge dry. He fishes it wet and dry. I've never used it dry. I only had to use it wet. But I was a bit intrigued. So how would you tie it differently, or would you just gink it up or something, or
Get
what?
up, gink it
Yeah,
up.
gink it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I've used the cock hackle for this, but you can use a hen hackle.
yeah,
You look at the Mets and the Viking hen hackles; they're almost as good as the cocks, but
yeah.
they are softer.
Mhm.
I use the French partridge all the time dry. And what I tend to do, instead of putting in a dub body, I use PTF tape or raffia for the body.
Off, yeah.
And you don't need to gink them up or anything. They will just float there. And 9 times out of 10, that the trait, when they're feeding off the top, will take these as soon as they hit the water.
Oh yeah, when they're on them, they're on them.
And if they go below, I don't worry about it. But they will stay up for 2 or 3 drifts, no problem at all.
Yeah.
And Gavin, on the river, I don't use the tail of mine.
You don't?
No. I
At
don't
all?
use the tail at all on the river. Certain parts I will, but generally on the river I fish on, I cut the tail. There's no tail on it.
That's
No
strange.
tail.
I find that the tail is the biggest trigger, especially in the air. And
That's
I
actually coming to
actually
night.
put a black tail in, black pheasant tail, because it stands out more in the air and they'll hit it just before it hits the water.
But try tying it right without the tail and fish it, and it's going dusk to dark every time.
Yeah. I've used them all. Like, I'm in South Wales, and
Good
we
country.
don't really get a lot of these mayflies. But I'm on the upper stretches of the Taff. I'm right on the Brecon Beacons. And I'd say about 15, 16 years ago, we had a big pollution incident from Welsh water. So as compensation, they said, right, you can restructure the river if you want to. We said, right, well, we need to put weirs in, because the natural weirs that were there, they were just demolished by them when they were building the reservoirs, what have you. So we created stages of weirs. And they said, you can't just use gravel, you've got to use river gravel. So we did, and they supplied, it was 300 ton, if not more. And they put it in, and the year after, we had mayflies flying around a river. Because wherever they got the gravel from, they took it from a river, and it was laden with eggs.
Good.
And now we've got my little river, which is 500 yards down the field from me, and you see these little mayflies dancing around. Well, they're not little, they're like, you think, oh my God, lovely. And the fish know what they are.
We don't traditionally get a huge amount of mayfly, although this year we've been brilliant in Devon. It's been a very good year. The mayfly can be here or in between. We get more large dark olives than anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's our
the,
go-to.
the Taff is absolutely known for its large Brookdons.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They're like sailboats.
Similar territory, see, isn't it?
Yeah, limestone rocky. They're coming down the river like sailboats.
Yeah.
But things are changing. I don't think I've ever really had a mayfly hatch on the Esk. And there's plenty in there.
Them there.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Paul Slaney and Tim Wood one day fishing it, and we had a good mayfly hatch.
Yeah, but you see them, but I've never really seen them in numbers like you should see them. Granhams, my God, you can't walk in the river with granhams because they're everywhere. They're crawling up your legs. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, yellow maize, there's plenty of those, but when you see the actual proper mayflies, very, very sporadic.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a good year this year. It's been perfect for it. It went dry and it was warm, and I think it just promoted a hatch. Now, unfortunately, our rivers are quite polluted. And, sewage companies, not farmers.
Bit of both, more sewage companies, but bit of both.
But down our way, we haven't got many cattle in the fields next to the river. So we know that predominantly it's sewage because of the phosphates and the E. coli and all the other levels in the water.
Oh, it's awful. I've seen it on the River Wye. Oh,
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it?
it's.
I
But
mean, the
I've been
Y
on
goes green, doesn't it?
I've been on the D and I've seen it on the D, and it's
Yeah.
pristine. You think,
I went out,
what's
the
going
best
on?
mayfly hatch I've ever seen was Stuart Tanner invited me up to his section on the mono. No,
Yes.
not mono. The Lambourne on the chalk streams.
All right. Okay.
And it's beautiful, clear water which comes out of the ground at his start of his, no pollution at all there. And these bloody mayflies, you're almost choking on them. I've never seen hatches like it. It's like you see the pictures of the lakes in Ireland, you know.
Yeah.
But we don't get anything like that.
Well, like I said, we never had him on the taff, but we got him now.
Yeah.
Out of a pollution incident, we've got him now,
That's good news, though.
and it's nice to see it. Well, the reservoirs above in Ponstic Reservoir, which is above, they're in there as well, and you think this is really good.
Yeah. They are
Really
nice
good.
when you get a good hatch, aren't they?
Oh, they're beautiful looking things.
Right. It is nice.
Any questions then? Come on, ask the questions.
Well, I don't like questions.
I really enjoyed watching you tying tonight, Gavin.
Yeah.
Same flies. Right, I might tie it a bit differently, but to tie it the same way. And
Yeah.
It's nice to see other techniques being done. But the mayfly that you tied there the last time, I was done in reverse, tail first and up. You know.
Yeah.
But there's one of my Italian friends, Enrico Fantasia. He ties in the hackles first at the front like you did.
Yes.
Except he puts two hackles. Some people put two hackles in the mayfly.
You can. Like I said, you can put the French partridge in.
Yeah.
But when you do the palmer, then you put, say, 2 or maybe 3 turns, if you leave a little bit of space, for a hen hackle, which you can use whatever colour you want. You can have orange in there as an orange spot. You can have a black spot.
Yeah, because on the lock here, on the locks, if you palmer body, you might have a hen hackle or a cock hackle behind in front of the palmer.
Yeah.
Then your partridge over that again. Now, some people put the cock or hen, you put in your partridge first and put it in front, whereas being pushed back through it. It's the amount that you might give it 3 turns of the partridge, or maybe 2, and 3 turns in of the hen hackle or cock in front of it to push through when it's being pulled through the water, the waves.
Yes.
If it gives a better life.
Yes. Reverse the hackling means I will pointing backwards, I will pointing forwards.
Yeah, but no, I'm a river man. But that's why I tie the lock flies when I'm on the locks, or go time for lock people for the locks.
Yeah. I'm a river man. I'm a river man as well.
Man by heart.
Can I just interrupt a second? Gavin, thank you very much indeed. Excellent flies, brilliant tying. But I've got to go. I'll watch the video over and over again. Brilliant. Thank you.
Good.
And thank you, Derek, for arranging this. Cheers, mate.
Nice to see you, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Anytime.
Hey, be careful, Volon. Take care, boss.
So long.
Ta-ra.
Right, with this technique, I use it so much, especially with the big hackles, but also bumbles.
Yeah.
When you tie in, I'm not sure if I did. I might have done one of these with Derek before. When you tie in, especially blue jay, if you put the hook in the vise, put your thread directly on the eye, pull your blue jay off, put it on, 2 turns, and then just twist it around. Perfect.
I've seen people doing that before, and I tried it. I tried it just for curiosity. Yeah, grand. But what I do is I get my blue jay hackle, a strip on side of it,
strip it off,
and I get a round biro. Now, this is what I was shown 36 years ago.
Yep.
Get a round biro and roll it back and forth 2 or 3 times in either side of it, and that's the last hackle. Then you tie in by the tip, and it goes around very easy, just holding the hackles being pushed back with your fingers going right around. That's the only way I know.
Yes.
But I tried that method before which I witnessed in the Fly Tying Guild by a newcomer. He
Right.
watched Dylan McVeigh doing it. So I'd give it a go. Everything fly is going to be tied the same way, just a different technique.
Yeah. It's just
And
it's like
I enjoyed it.
an Invicta or silver
Yeah.
Invicta. We got the blue jay throat.
Yes.
Put the hook in, put the thread up to the eye, turn the eye, the hook upside down, tie your throat in so it's pointing forward, and then finish the rest of the fly. And when you come to tie in, put the blue jay underneath, you just roll the fly upside down, pull it back, 2 or 3 turns of thread, it's done. There's none of this cutting and little bits of pieces sticking out. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's just whatever it's whatever you're showing and you're used to. But I will always try something new to give it a go.
Well, yeah, you got it.
I tie a lot of flies. Say, to me, time is money.
Yes.
So I have to get a fast method. So sometimes if I want something fast, I will try something new, the new method if it means being faster to get production out.
Well, I was a production tyer for about 23 years. So these little techniques you learn, and it saves you time, and also saves you money because you aren't going to put so much hackle in.
And even the small, but you might go down to size 12 bumble.
Yeah.
And you might have the grade of partridge there that you want the size of. So the big ones that might be left over from your mayfly, I put them separate box. So you're grading the proportion to size. So you're tying them in like if you're doing in reverse of the blue jay, but you're tying in on the front.
Yes.
And you pull a bunch and you turn it around like you're doing a dabbler.
Yeah.
So you do. And
now I tie my dabblers this way with the shuttlecock. I call it the shuttlecock version. I tie my bronze mallet in forward and then finish the fly and then fold it back. And if you want a thicker top, then just add a little top, a little thicker wing on the top, and that's it.
Right. So we're doing them.
The head is neater.
Yeah.
You're not cutting away the little bits and pieces.
Right.
Because you've done it in the first place. So when you fold it back, there's nothing to cut away, is there?
No.
5 or 6 turns of thread, your head is finished.
Yep.
And you get a perfect. Because sometimes people can tie like dabblers and other type of patterns like that, and they flatten them, and it takes the life out of them.
It does, yeah.
I like having mine sort of pointing out up.
Yeah.
So they have this
pulse.
So the fly is giving life in the water without you even touching it.
Correct.
Especially if you've got a little bit of a wave.
So I'm going to say to you, do you do your varnish with your needle?
Yeah.
I have the bobbin hanging on the as you finish off for whip finish. I put a swipe of varnish or swipe of glue on the thread, and I hold my hackles back and I turn around. I make my head in.
Yes, yeah, you can do that as well. Yeah, I've done. Yeah, you can do all that. I know some people that don't even use varnish, but you've got to have a bit of varnish on it.
Oh, you do your glue first, then you let it dry. You do your whip finisher half inch, and then you go back with a bit of varnish in, because if you don't, the head will go pure white from the glue.
It will. You get that sometimes with the UV as well. You put the UV is fantastic stuff. Some of it is, but you've got to varnish over the top of it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of UV.
No,
no.
Well, it's got some purposes, like
good for the pike flies.
Yes, glue buzzers.
Yeah.
But what I tend to do is, if I do a glue buzzer, I'll UV it, but then I'll give it a coat of Sally Hansen over the top.
Yes, you have to.
And turn it around so it spreads it, because otherwise the water gets underneath and it goes grey. It goes opaque.
Correct.
And it ruins it.
Yeah. Nice fly.
When I first started,
we didn't have the resource to have now.
No, when I first started, the first pattern I ever tied were appetizers, and I did 1,000 appetizers. And to get the head to be like a nice black bead, it was half thinners, half varnish, the first coat, full black varnish, and then full clear varnish over the top.
I remember that. That was the Griffiths varnish.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's how the salmon anglers back in the day used to get their nice, small, perfect heads.
Yeah.
Because if you look at their tie-ins, and you look at a salmon fly before they actually varnish them. You'd see all the different colours of materials through the head.
Correct.
And then the first varnish goes on, which is half thin as half varnish, which seals right through. They'll never come undone.
Yeah.
Whatever colour they use in, if it's black or if it's red or whatever, and then the clear varnish at the top, they come out perfect, like a bead. Yeah. And they never used to come undone either.
And that's an interesting point, because I know regards the old flies that time with the Griffiths varnish, right, were used to use, we'll go set in. Okay, you would have, when you're starting out, you would have a bit of, you could see different materials or tiny bits of thread underneath it, where the objective was always try to cover it up before you put your clear varnish over it.
That's it.
But it has advanced, but our experience that we have back then, now we're using with the modern techniques, the modern materials. We're able to combine it.
Yes, well, yeah. And every day you got a class as a learning day.
Yeah, every day is school day.
Every day.
Tell it to people.
And you know, the one thing I always teach people, beginners and kids, when I always spend your money on the good hooks.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got a really good hook.
Yeah.
You can use jungle cock, you can use you're the best bayets, but if that hook you're using is crap or cheap, what is the point?
Yeah, and I always tell the people, like, the ecology in the river and aquatics is changing, and the environment is changing, and you have materials that might be slightly different, and different. You might have the same fly for two different rivers, but the coloration can be a major difference.
I'll give you an example. Example with that now, right? Is fish the taff, fish the ask, fish the way. Yeah, go on the taff, March brown. On the way, use a March brown. But if you go on the ask, you use a purple March brown.
Yeah.
Because if you use a standard March brown, you will catch one or two, but not like you should. You put a flash of purple in there, bump.
Yeah.
And you think, what's the difference here then? But if you look at the riverbeds, like the taff and the way are like limestone. But a lot of the ask runs through farmland, so it's a lot of muck, a lot of mud, a lot of red soil.
You want a bit of clarity through your fly.
Yeah.
I think purple's an underrated, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I do like it. I use it's purplish or a claret on a lot of flies. That's the standard thread color I use.
Yeah, but what do you like? A nice dark claret?
Yeah, I just like the ordinary. I use sheer claret.
Yeah, the blood red one.
I just find it adds something to a fly over black. I don't use much black thread at all for fishing, because in my opinion there isn't much in nature which is dead black.
No.
And I would
sheer 14 feet
brown or claret or another color over black.
Yeah. Well, like you just saw, I use the black to finish the heads off.
Yeah.
Because it gives it a nice focal point.
And the sheer 14 or 8, they have a nice claret burgundy thread as well, wine colour.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like a Benici, mind. I do like the Benici threads.
Yeah.
You can get them now, though, can you?
I do. Yeah, you can.
All right. I hadn't seen it anywhere for ages.
I buy it on. Well, the thing is, like I said to Derek before we started, my closest tackle shop for me now, fly tying, is Winferton Sportfish. It's 51 miles for me. So most of it's done on the internet.
Yeah, most of mine is. It's got no one local.
Oh, it's terrible. It's because as a fly tyer, you want to pick your stuff up and you want to look at it, don't you?
Yeah, for materials anyway.
Yeah.
Or trust the person you're buying it from.
This is it. This is why Steve Cook still is good. You can trust him because he's got quality materials.
There's only 3 people I order from in the blind. It's Steve Cooper.
Yeah.
Pat Nolan, where I live in the Republic of Ireland, and Shane Rogers in Northern Ireland. They know I'm picky and choosy what I want and fussy. And they're the 3 I could recommend buying in the blind.
Well, there's a lad up in
Bob Church is good as well.
What's his name? There's a lad in North Wales. I didn't even know he existed, and I was looking for a nice medium olive cape. Look at that.
That's a lovely olive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Look at it. It's genetic. 32 quid.
That's not bad.
32 quid. I thought, my God, I thought, I'll give it a go just to have a look.
You buy two of them for that.
Look at it. Perfect,
Yeah.
beautiful. You look at them, you go to Sportfish, I got capes in there now, £142.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a natural done cape.
Yeah.
I don't know what this one is. That's what I've been using today.
Well, yeah.
And it's actually a lovely colour. I think it's just an Indian.
That's what it is. Yeah.
But it's a good Indian. There's good and bad Indians, isn't there?
Yeah.
This is quite fine.
Steve Cooper has lovely stuff at the moment. Indian capes for they're like genetics. I have a lot of them here, but they go for wet flies and dry flies.
Yes.
They're excellent.
Oh, Steve is really good. He's really good. And his things like his pheasant tails, his dyed pheasant tails, they're a pound.
Can't go wrong.
It's pointless dyeing them for that yourself.
And the squirrel tails, to me, in my opinion, he's the best in Europe, if not best in the world. The squirrel tails.
Yes.
That's what I'm buying them for.
Who uses squirrel tail now, innit? You know what I mean?
Does anyone want any? I got bloody hundreds.
Yeah.
We use that from in Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you look in these shops and people, especially younger tyres, go, what the hell is squirrel tail? You use that for? You think,
it's the same as half tail.
Yeah. And
it's another one which has died a death.
Yeah. And you go like this, well, you use an air stacker. What's that for? Well, you put it in there and you go, and it flattens the ends off you, it levels them out. You think, I've never seen one of them. You think, I feel old now.
Yeah, but how many people don't know how to use a hair stacker right? If you do it dead flat, it doesn't work. You've got to do it on the slant.
And you need the right proportion of material that you want in it.
Yes.
Sometimes one is longer one than another.
Well, what I learned over the years, production tie-in, is when the missus go to bed and the kids go into bed, that's when you had quiet time. The heel there.
Yeah.
It's nice and quiet. Don't go like that. Because you get a row. You go like on the back, on the heel. And it's perfect.
If you can put a round piece of rubber at the end of it and on a book.
Yeah. Women still do it.
Oh.
Thanks for tonight, Gav.
You go when you did it?
Well, I got to convert it yet.
All right, okay.
He's going to stand there and preach to it all night.
I hope you recorded it.
Yeah.
Good.
Cheers, Gav.
I enjoyed it.